Hello, welcome back to the garden. It's autumn now, the sun is lower in the sky, we're having damp mornings, but work hasn't stopped in the garden. In fact, these last few weeks I've been rather busy. What you can see in front of you is the base, or the dwarf wall, ready for the new greenhouse. I previously had a greenhouse in this area. I inherited it when I moved in a few years ago, or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it is now. It served me well, but it had broken glass. It was a bit dilapidated, in all honesty. So I advertised that free to take away. Nice couple came and dismantled it. They were going to put some new glass in it and sort it out, so I'm pleased it's going to have a second life. Up until this date, I've never had a brand new greenhouse. I've always had second-hand greenhouses. I myself has been dismantled them, re-put them up where I wanted them, just to give for winter protection and to grow things in the summer. So I bit the bullet, or we've bit the bullet, and we're going to have a brand new greenhouse. And here is the dwarf wall for it. So far what has happened is I've dug the footings and then brought it up to ground level, or just about ground level. I didn't film all this because I know a lot of you watched or look into the channel for plants rather than building work, so I thought it better to just get on with it, in all honesty. Anyway, the top, so to speak, is on order. Should arrive later in November. So what that will then do, the walls are now up to the height they're meant to be. I've measured it, double measured it, checked the measurements, so they should be fine. He said with his fingers crossed. All the glass doors, everything else are on order. They'll be here later in November to sit on top of the dwarf wall. What I've done inside is laid, I had some paving over from when I'd done the paving around the bungalow earlier, so I've utilised this inside for the floor, which is already in, because I figured it was easier to get the floor in now than when I've got to lug it past brand new greenhouse door and glass. If we look over here, I haven't run out of paving. What that's going to be is, at the back of the greenhouse there's going to be shelving all the way across the back. So underneath there I'm going to just break that up a little bit of membrane down and some gravel. So that's a nice standing area in slightly shadier conditions under the bench. Also it'll allow for drainage when you water the plants on the benches above. If I stand back again, I really wanted this style of greenhouse because if you've seen some of my previous videos on the channel, you used to get into the old greenhouse by walking down the side here, although it wasn't quite as close to the fence, and then going to the right to get into the door, which wasn't ideal, to be fair. So with the door facing into the garden, I think it should become a real feature of the garden, or that's what I'm going to try and achieve. The paving is going to run on from the existing paving here along the front in a similar sandstone, and then possibly up this end going to have a circular patio out of sandstone, but I'm still debating that bit. That's subject to change. But what this should then do is include the greenhouse into the garden and hopefully really enhance it. I'm hoping it's going to be a lot better, this style of greenhouse, than the previous one I had. My plan is for overwintering. The old one I used to line with bubble wrap to keep the frost out and then have a tube heater in here. This one I intend buying a small temporary greenhouse covered in polythene, plastic, whatever they're covered in, and I'm going to erect that inside this one. I'll get to that at a later date when I come through over winter and stuff. I was thinking I was going to have to put most of the plants into the summer house this winter for protection rather than the greenhouse that I usually do, but if things work out, I'm hoping that by December time I may be able to get the plants into the new greenhouse if it's up. Anyway, that's a quick update on the latest building work from Heathcroft Garden. Not very plant related. If that's what you're looking for, sorry about that, but I'd like to record this for posterity so to speak. And what I'll do when it's up, I'll do a tour of the new greenhouse, so if anyone's interested in something similar, you'll be able to see what it's like. If you enjoyed the content, please take the time to like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. And that's about it for today. See you next time at Heathcroft Garden.